What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for a impromptu, like I like to do, Q&A. Just a little mini hot hangout. We could talk pretty much whatever. Sports cards, non-sports cards, comic books, wherever chat would like to take us, we will go. I've got about 30 or 35 minutes, give or take. So I figured I would hop on and see what everyone's up to. And once again, if you are watching this post-mortem, this was a live stream, so I will be answering questions from chat. I do have chat up on the screen. I don't know how easy that will be for you to see after the fact. I think I have super chat on. I don't really know how that works, but I'm not that concerned about it. Excuse me. All right, chat. Let's see what we got. Raw to grade play right now. I don't know yet, 23 boy, but whoever figures it out first is well positioned to do well in this wonderful new market that we all live in. The PSA price increases have really made me reconsider what or where we go from here. As I said in the video the other day, I think it's still PSA for high end. The trick is for low end, where do we go? Like I said in that video, I personally think it's SGC. I worry about CSG getting backlogged, and HGA's caps make it extremely difficult. So we'll see what happens. I got some comics back. I am on the hunt for something right now, but I don't want to talk about it until I get it. I have a few irons in the fire. There was one particular thing I would really like to get my hands on because I think it's a good play and I think it's about to go crazy, but I'm having trouble finding one, at least for a semi-reasonable price. Love the Australia dudes. Always love the Australia dudes. Ja getting traded for Wolverine. Maybe. Zion's been playing out of his mind. Yan, if you got 10K to invest, you got to do your homework, my man. I mean, I still, are you one and done on Marvel cards? No. I still have more orders at PSA right now. My express order from the 13th got checked in today. So we'll probably see that in about a month and a half. And I have two more Marvel, or I have 3 total Marvel orders at PSA. An express that they got a couple weeks ago, a regular that they got about a week ago, and I slipped one last regular order off right before prices increased. I don't know what I'm going to do going forward with the price increases. UFC tops, I am not a UFC guy at all. I know that it's popping off lately. I just don't know anything about it. $220 too much to pay for a PSA. I mean, just check comps, man. That's the easiest thing to do. LaMelo Ball hoops raw to grade is not the play, in my opinion. You could go ahead and bail fielder cards. Series 2, X-Men, personally, I would just sell the box. I think most of the value is going to be tied up in Series 1 with the Jim Lee artwork, and X-Men's pretty much a spec play anyway, so if you could turn a good profit on it, I would just move it and put it in something else. I do not know if HGA does Marvel cards. I actually pinged them on Twitter today to ask that question, because I do think Marvel stuff might look really good in HGA slabs, but they did not respond back to me. So I'm going to shoot them off an email. I think the time to buy Modern is now. I'm dropping a video tomorrow morning. I just uploaded it before I hopped on here about 2 specific players that we're just being idiots about and sleeping on. So what's your thoughts on the play for grading new Prism-based rookies at the moment? That's a really long-form discussion. I'm probably going to have a video coming out on that closer to Prism release. And once we kind of see how the grading market shakes itself out, my gut tells me that it's going to be tricky. And I think unless it's like a LaMelo or a Wiseman or an Anthony Edwards, you're either going to have to suck it up and slow sub at the PSA and wait the year, or like SGC it or CSG it or HGA it if you can get in. I think HGA is the play. The market likes HGA right now. Like they're getting all the hype and the FOMO because of their artificial scarcity. But the problem is getting cards into them. I am not big on Impel DC 91. How do I feel about Kobe and LeBron rookies dipping? See my video tomorrow morning specifically about LeBron. I'm not a big Kobe guy, but I think if you want to get into a LeBron Topps Chrome, keep your eye on the market. I think it's about to flatten out, and now's probably your chance before it goes back up again. Make a live stream purchase. Maybe I'll fire up a Star Stock purchase or something. I was cruising Star Stock looking to spend some money before I got on here. Anything comic related, grading wise, you want to send it to CGC. They're not changing the logo to Kobe. Regarding KPJ, I have a stack of stuff ready to rock and roll. He's getting called up after the All-Star break, and I will be looking to move some of it because I have a ton of KPJ. I do not believe it. PSA is going to get the same amount of submissions at all. Not even close. I think vintage anything is a pretty decent play. I do not have any TMT or Super Mario Brothers boxes. I did. 1 second. Where'd OBS go? I'm going to make this bigger real quick. So, spoiling a future mail day video. I initially wanted this to rip to grade, but PSA may have screwed that up. And this box is beat to hell. This is an extremely rare 89 Todd McFarlane comic images set. It's Spider-Man, a lot of Spider-Man and a lot of Wolverine stuff, and the artwork is absolutely fantastic. These are impossible to find. There's actually an auction ending on eBay tonight for one. I think it's over already. I got this at a buy it now. The last one that sold previous to this on eBay was like 3 months ago, so these do not come up often. I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. I thought about maybe flipping it resealed, and I knew this when I bought it. The box is pretty beat up. There's a pretty big hole in it right there. I don't think anyone affected the packs, and I bought it from a very reputable seller. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but initially it was the rip and grade. I love MPJ. I talked about him in the video the other day. The Pat Tillman card in the USA flag thing did look fantastic. Not a soccer guy. I just don't know anything about it. Do you think there's for Star Stock Bees? I still think the plan with the play with Star Stock Bees is target ones that are drastically under real world comps, buy them, send them home, and sell them. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. I understand the hype around it, but just not a play for me. I like to stick with stuff that I know. That's always been the rule on the channel. Has been I only invest and buy in stuff that I know. And like, I mean, I know Harry Potter, but I don't know the market. And if I'm going to spec on something, I'd rather spec on other things. I completely agree with you. I believe the comic book market is being slept on, and I completely understand that the comic book market is hot as hell right now. But when you look at the scarcity stuff on their census compared to sports cards, It is absolutely insane. Like I talked about in that video the other day. There's just the amount of supply constraints, especially on slightly older stuff, is absolutely crazy. And if just a little bit of people and money shift into that market, there's just not enough inventory to go around and prices are going to skyrocket. They already are. I bought that New Mutants 98 CGC 9.8 a week ago, like a week and a half ago, for $1,200. One closed on eBay today for $2,150. I think if you want to get in the Brady, you're best to kind of just let it calm down a little bit. You're probably right, JR, but I'm mostly looking at 90s copper age stuff, and I would rather go high grade in that stuff. In the older stuff, I 100% agree with you. I think CSG is doomed to get backlogged. I hope I'm wrong. I really don't follow sports memorabilia very much. I could see it going up with the rise of everything else, but that's a trickier one. It's a lot smaller market. That's because the way carddeal.com, I believe it's not the AI that does that. You free enter in cards when you load them into their website. It's not like PSA where you search a database. So I think whoever entered it wrong, not them. They didn't catch it. That's a problem. Star Wars cards have already blown up, especially the 77 set. I'm not a big Quai guy. There's other places I would rather put my money. I understand a lot of people are, and I understand why, just not for me. I'd rather buy Luca. I think vintage anything's always the like not a bad play. You're gonna ride the wave. Sometimes it's gonna go down. Sometimes it's gonna go up. My quick 30-second Top Shot take. I have yet to do a video on Top Shot. I will at some point in time. I have some money in there because I bought stuff early on and sold too early, but it was basically a free $700 or $800. I want to see what the Top Shot market looks like once people can actually withdraw money, because I think once people can get their money out, Top Shot looks a lot different. Luca numbered rookies, hold or sell. Luca numbered rookies and low pop stuff, buy. See my video tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do a longer Jacob. I'm gonna do a longer form Marvel market video. Probably maybe for Friday morning. I think I'm gonna record it tomorrow. Prices are gonna come down. You're already seeing it on the 9s. I think the 10s are gonna hold value decently enough. They're probably gonna come down some, but I could be wrong. And I'm strictly talking about 90 Marvel Universe. They are extremely tough grades. Who's the Marvel GOAT? Price wise, it's any basically Avenger or Spider-Man. Probably Spider-Man if I had to put my money down. If I had to pick just one. I don't really buy into the whole Hall of Fame announcement spike stuff. If you're buying into those guys, plan on holding them long term. I'm not big on Panini stickers personally. I don't know that it's a bad play, but it's just not for me. I mean, 2008 Topps Basketball is great for the LeBron chalk toss and the LeBron Kobe card. As a former Cavs season ticket holder, I adore the LeBron chalk toss card. I have two of them, both in PSA 9. I did send cards for Star Stock grading. I am in their second sub. They did pull the money. They did pull the cards. I haven't got them back yet, though. That sub should be coming back soon, actually. I am not familiar with the 2002 Brady Breeze cards. High end, it's still PSA, Jeff. Lower end, it's HGA. I think if you can get in, the problem is getting in, and I think that's going to be a huge problem for a while. So I think personally, I think the play is SGC, but they could get backed up too, like they did last year. So I don't know. That's the elephant in the room right now is what to do with lower end stuff. Do we send it to PSA and wait, or do we test out one of the other ones? Yeah, I know Canadian grading's weird. I'm not playing the chase the movie news stuff. I'm specifically going for classics. Like I got the New Mutants 98 as the first major play. I have a Secret Wars 8 on the weights. I mean, I talked about that in a video last week. I think Secret Wars 8 is undervalued compared to where everything else is in a CGC 9.8. I got that for like $600. They've spiked a little bit, but I still think it's a little too cheap if you could find one. I would love an X-Men 266. They got real expensive real fast. ASM 300 I would love, but they're like 6K right now, 5 or 6K. I was looking at a 361, but those got expensive. I don't think vintage wax goes down based off the PSA price hike. 23 boys, see my video tomorrow on the Luca base question. The G.I. Joe Impel thing's weird. There's only a couple. Those are like the pop report on G.I. Joe Impel is extremely low. So it's not like any more are going to be popping up. The problem is the PSA price hike. So like I have a box of like I got one sitting right here and I was going to rip it and go hunting for snake eyes. But with the PSA price hike, I just don't know how you submit it now. You know, if I send it bulk, I'm not getting it back for the year. God knows what the market looks like then. And I don't know that I want to submit it at $100 a card regular and get it back in 2 months. That seems risky because if it comes back in 9, you're probably sunk. So I don't really know what to do with that. But yeah, I got a box right there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might just sell it sealed. I'm not sure. Sorry, just getting caught back up on chat. Just don't open wax. Simple as that. Willpower. Don't eat the bag of chocolate chip cookies all in one sitting. Don't rip the wax. It's on my radar, Jake. That's for sure. See, the problem with Top Shot is like Darren Ravel did a really good poll on this the other day, and I don't have it handy. The question was basically like, how many of you actually want to collect Top Shot and how many of you are just flipping it? And it was like 90% I'm just there to make money and 10% were there because they actually want to collect it. That's not a sustainable marketplace. He asked the same question about physical sports cards and it was 40-60. And that's about where it needs to be. You need to have both sides of the scales need to be semi-balanced or everything falls apart. And I worry the second people can get money out of Top Shot, the cookie's going to crumble. I think there'll still be a market there, but I think it's drastically overinflated because people are basically treating it as free money. I see absolutely no reason to sell Luca right now. Unless you want to sell it to me. I like Tatum for sure. He is one of my mythical list of 5. He is on my list of 5. Clayton, see my video tomorrow. I talk about 2 specific players that like, what the hell are we doing? I'm not the PMG thing. Like, I'm just not up on. I'm not educated enough on PMGs. I've basically been focusing on Marvel Universe 90. But I mean, I think PMGs, if you're looking like, is the market going to collapse? I don't think the market's going to collapse on PMGs. They're a lot safer. They're a lot more expensive too. Favorite pre-playoff buy tomorrow? I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. See the video tomorrow. I talk about 2 players tomorrow, one very specifically. Spoilers. There's 2 main players that I focus on in my NBA video tomorrow. They are both on camera right now. Global sports card investor, I don't know yet. I need to see the whole season play out. Trading company. I mean, kind of use sports cards that way. Like, there's only very few sports cards like I am really attached to. Otherwise, because I'm not into the sports cards that are like a LeBron Topps Chrome would be one that like I wouldn't want to let go. Until I get to that point, like everything that I have in my collection is just building the bankroll to get into other things. As funny as it sounds, I'm probably actually more attached to the New Mutants 98 that I just bought than I am most of my sports cards, to be quite honest. Kemp's already fallen apart in regards to that era. I would not invest in Sean Kemp. Nash is a different story because he's going to stay relevant because he's coaching the Nets. I don't think so, peeps, because people are degenerates and they want to gamble by ripping wax. Global sports card investor, your min price per card now, if you're sending regular service for PSA, whatever a PSA 9 is selling for. PSA 9 has to equal the regular service price tag. So if you submit 10 cards and 5 come back 9s and 5 come back 10s, I want to break even on the 9s at minimum. At minimum, I want to break even on the 9s. So I think what's regular service now? $100, I think, off the top of my head. So whatever I'm sending in better be worth $100 in a PSA 9, and then I'll make my profit on the 10s. One of my Spider-Mans is sold. That's why you only see one in front of you. It shipped out today. One did sell. I have one left. And actually, this is sold. Stanley is sold too. I gotta ship it tonight. It's just sitting there because I gotta ship it. I don't know that Star Stock's going to become the go-to for grading, but I think Star Stock is a slight winner out of all this. That wasn't a real case, Aaron P. That box was open and had a bunch of open boxes in it, and that listing looked sketchy as all hell. Vernon, I currently own 0 Top Shots. I had some. I sold them all right before it went absolutely ballistic. Probably cost myself at least a couple $1,000, but I got about $1,000 in my Top Shot account just sitting there. 700, 800. Yeah, Aaron P, that was not like a real listing. Go back and look at it. I mean, Zuckerman, the Kobe auto versus a Luca Prism Silver. I am not a Kobe guy. I never have been. I am a much bigger fan of Luca, but that being said, it's the Kobe auto 100 times out of 100. I don't know about MLB, but there's supposedly NFL Top Shot coming that they already have the license for it. Net Marvels kind of already took off the first year. I will be curious to see how Net Marvels handle there being new net Marvels in this year's Donruss. Mike, I played MTG through most of my high school and early college years. I have not gone back into that market. I thought about it, but I would rather. I only have so much time and so much money, and a majority of that's focused on sports cards and now the non-sports card stuff and comic books. And I think I'm capped out at that brain power wise. Though, I mean, I still follow the MTG market. I'm a big fan of Rudy in the MTG YouTube space. I think his videos are fantastic, even though I don't even spend money on MTG. I just think he's a really smart guy to watch. I don't know Toa. I'm just not as educated in blockchain and all that stuff as I need to be. Same with Bitcoin. That's what I'm banking on, crypto. I am looking at a lot of X-Men stuff, and I love the Jim Lee X-Men Series 1 boxes for that purpose. And that is the big question. That could be years from now. That's the only thing. Who the hell knows what the market looks like by the time the X-Men actually get to the MCU. Maybe James G. There's a lot of fallout from the PSA stuff that we're either overthinking or underthinking, if that makes sense. Like last time they increased prices, the internet lost their mind and nothing really changed. Everyone just still sent all their shit to PSA. So I feel like this time's a little different, and there's going to be ripple effects from this that no one has seen yet. No, Cruz, I think if anything, the PSA price increases makes raw cards cheaper. I don't understand the logic, but behind the PSA price increases make raw cards more expensive. In my opinion, the PSA price increases make it that there's going to be more supply on the market of raw cards. I'm going to say false on that one, Zach. I will do the best I can, Rob. It's hard for me to keep up as is. Big boy cards regarding PSA group submission pricing. I don't know that they are. Some of the group submitters have not put out that great of pricing so far, and PC Sports Cards, the biggest group submitter, has not announced new pricing yet. I don't know that the group submitters are getting as big of a break as they used to. Regarding starting lineup cards and grading it, I would only grade like the 88 Jordan and stuff like that. And those are tricky because they're super tough grades, I guess. Um, Trading company regarding like prepping cards and stuff. I feel like that industry is already pretty much booming. Alex, I don't play in that market, the $20 and less, but I definitely see the white envelope as a game changer. I've moved away from dealing with raw cards as much as possible. Kyle, I would, if you anyone just starting out and you're just getting into the hobby, I would 100% recommend cutting your teeth on Star Stock. Tiger, I'm not up on tennis stuff very much. Aaron P, I would love a giant size X-Men 1 or a Hulk 181, but man, have those prices just gone crazy. David Luna asked best NFL buy right now. Basically any young quarterback. I made a video about 2 weeks ago about buying NFL. Check that one out. If I'm not talking, it's just because I'm reading chat. So if there's little pauses of silences, it's just because I'm just trying to get caught up on questions. And if I miss your question, sorry. I'm just trying to keep up as best I can. That's pretty good turnaround time, Wolfman, 2.5 weeks. Global sports card investor PSA isn't going to leave the lower end market because some people are still going to be willing to submit and wait. So, at 20 or 25 bucks a card, if you're willing to wait the year, it's still a viable play. You're just taking on more risk. They could, Ivan. Miles Morales seems like the future Marvel. Drew, someone asked about Impel DC cards yet. They're not for me. I think there's you think Marvel Universe cards are out there all over the place. The DC Impel stuff's even more wild. JR, mostly YouTube and some of the other popular stuff. And just my own hunches. Cards have been like a stock market for the last year, if not 2 years. And I think NBA Modern is about to pop off, but you got to buy the right players. Rarely, how much do group submitters make per card? I don't know exactly, but I think it's just a couple bucks per card. It's just when you're doing that many that, if you could do it at scale, you could turn into a pretty decent amount of chunk of change. That's man, what's up, brother? I didn't see you sneak in there. I am not opening the GI Joe box, not at least not tonight. Just doing a quick Q&A. I think LaMelo Ball Prism PSA 10 start higher than that. And I do think I think my prediction has been the entire time that Modern is going to pick back up again after the All-Star break because we have a couple different things happening all at the same time. It's the NBA trade deadline, so that's going to pop some stuff off, and Prism releases. And people are going to look at the calendar and be like, holy shit, the playoffs are a month away. I got to make some plays. That's my thought process on NBA Modern. ASMR, I think specking on football inserts is dangerous because football and basketball are apples and oranges. The 96 Masterpiece set is already crazy expensive. And if the Marvel cards really catch, it could go higher because it is super rare. Deshaun Watson already has a pretty big price bump built into him from the spec of him getting traded. I can't see it getting spiked again. Aaron P, it depends on what you're looking at. If it's Copper Age stuff, I think 9.8s are the play. Unless it's like an ASM 300 because they're so expensive. If you go anything older than mid 80s, then I think you could start looking at lower graded stuff. That's just me personally. That's how I'm approaching it. But I'm a comic noob, so. The 80s WWF stuff's been going crazy. I'm not, and so is the 90s. It's already kind of popping off. But once again, it all comes down to graded. Like all this 90s junk wax stuff, whether you're talking sports or non-sports, all comes down to the rarity of the PSA 10. And that's what matters. If you're not, that's what's going to hold all the value. The random bit, like Marvel Universe, just to go back to that for an example, there's billions of those cards floating around, but they're in shit condition. It's all about the PSA 10. That's what's going to carry the value. And that's why you're seeing the PSA 9 sell for so low compared to the 10s. I don't know about CGC and Marvel cards. Here's the problem with all the other grading companies: BGS, CSG, and HGA. 9.5 is their main grade, not 10. The sports card market has shown people want 10s in the top right hand corner, not 9.5s. So SGC's main grade is a 10. PSA's main grade is a 10. All the other ones are 9.5s, and I think that caps how high they can go. I think PSA is going to be more transparent on their website of where your cards are at in their holder or in the workflow process. You're already seeing that with complete through dates. I also can see them maybe telling you your grades earlier in the process. So, your card leaves grading and then goes to assembly, and depending on your tier, it's in assembly and QA 1 and 2 for a while sometimes. But they know the grade at that point in time. So they could shoot you an email and say, "Hey, here's your grades." It's going to be a month before you get the card still, but at least you know what grades you got. I think that would ease people's tensions. I'm not as concerned about the PSA backlog as most people are, because it's not like it's all going to dump on the market at once. It's going to trickle out slowly. I will be very curious. To me, the interesting thing with the PSA price changes is what does 2020 Prism basketball pop counts look like at the beginning of next NBA season? A lot of people don't like the Impel tins because the cards are beat to hell in a lot of cases. Wizard comic cards, I haven't seen those pop up yet, but I haven't really looked for them yet. Uh, Papa Pete, the problem with stuff like that is I just don't know how many people know that they exist. Thoughts on NFTs? I don't understand them. 74 and 75 Marvel stickers have gone up, but I think it's part of the same problem. Most of the people buying this stuff right now do not have the nostalgia vibe for 74, 75 stickers because they didn't collect them. Most people in the market are 35 to 45. That's a vast majority of people in this market. And most of those people bought Marvel Universe 90. That's the reason why it's the set getting all the love. I get your thought process there, big boy, like in regards to the whole percentage and stuff, but like you have to factor in what percentage of the US cares. And also, if you're talking sports or like Marvel, like basketball or Marvel, it's a global game now. If you're talking football and baseball, it's not as much. It depends on the market. I get it wears, but that's what the market wants, and we don't get to choose what the market wants. Sealed wax is always the best play if you can resist not opening it. Sealed wax always wins. It's the mutual fund of collecting. That's so the sealed wax play. That's the reason I liked ripping the Marvel 90 Universe boxes. I'm going to do a video on this at some point in time. The reason the Marvel Universe boxes were a smart rip to grade is because the checklist is so small. It's not like ripping a box of Prism. When you rip a box of Prism, you're praying you just get a Jaw or Zion, and you could easily whiff. With like a 90 Marvel Universe box, I know I'm going to pull at least, especially that set, because there's 3 versions of Spider-Man in that set. There's 3 versions of Wolverine in that set. I know I'm going to pull anywhere from 8 to 12 different Wolverine or Spider-Man just base cards, not even counting the versus battles and all that stuff. It's just a matter if you get lucky on centering and and all the other stuff. I know I'm going to pull them. That's why I really like the Marvel Universe stuff to rip and grade. The problem is now the PSA price increases hurt your margin on that, and the fact that the 9s are not selling as well, so it makes it trickier to break even on the 9s unless you're submitting it like regular service, unless you're only sending key characters as well. I think you could do it still. I got to rework the math on it and see what current comps are, because I really strongly considered ripping my second box of 90 MU, because depending on how this first box turns out, I'm going to probably do pretty decent on it profit wise. But the price hikes kind of change the equation a little bit on that. So. Hey, Cruz, thanks, man. You've been around forever. You're gonna make me submit a card to GMA? Oh Lord. Yeah, I don't like doing min grades on cards. It doesn't make sense. Just get it slabbed. Worst case, you can practice cracking it. Cubicle life. That's a rough one. The 90 Marvel Universe stuff laying around is just tough because condition is fickle. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and sneak on out of here. Unless someone has a last minute question. I would love to send some Marvel cards to HGA, but I don't know if they take them. All right, ladies and gents, we are going to wrap this up. Thanks everyone for hanging out for the evening. If I missed your question, sorry. I tried to keep up as best as I possibly could. But NBA video dropping tomorrow morning, then probably a Marvel video after that. I am headed to the card show in Columbus this weekend, I believe. So I don't understand PowerPoint, Natsman 782. It's beyond my capabilities. Can you make some slides? If I send you what my next video is going to be about, Natsman, can you make me some PowerPoint slides? All right, guys, we'll catch you later. Peace.